Alright, so I recorded this one a couple of weeks ago. This is GIJoe, the arcade game. That's for my Pandora 6S, Pandora's Box 6S stick. And you gotta be Snake Eyes to start things off, of course, so here we go.
Yo, Joe!
I don't think I ever remember seeing this one actually at the arcades that I played at. The first time I actually played this game was on my soft-modded Xbox and downloaded a file called CoinOps on the internet, and it had this on there. So I'd played it one time before playing it on this arcade stick. Another game that's similar to this is like Rambo, so it just runs you forward the whole time and you're shooting the various enemies. So kind of cool to see some of the different GIJoe enemies and characters. There's quite a few. I played quite a few stages of this actually on this particular playthrough, so played as all the different characters, most of the time as Snake Eyes, but did play as all four that you can choose from: Scarlet, Duke, Snake Eyes, and Roadblock.
Now or never!
So you have your main weapon, and then the other button, the only other button you can use, does like a bomb weapon, and it looks like, as I'm kind of looking at it now, it shows you on the screen how many like missiles you have there down below the life meter. So use those up every time I died, just to try to beat through the enemies here. And you know, this is like the first boss fight of the game. You know, as I'm going back through and watching this video, it occurs to me that there may have been a button I could have used to jump, because some of the obstacles look like they need to be jumped over. On the arcade stick there are 6 buttons, and looks like through most of this I only pressed 2, the main weapon and then the missile bomb weapon. So, may have missed that, maybe an oversight, or maybe there wasn't, but it looks sort of like there probably should have been.
Yo, Joe!
You know, ironically, I actually didn't have very many G.I. Joe action figures growing up. It wasn't until much later, probably into adulthood, that I started collecting G.I. Joes. They were a little... their popularity was at its peak as I was kind of in that grown out of action figure and toy phase, which of course I re-entered later, but at the point of time, I mean, maybe that's not entirely true. You know, I am trying to think about the time frame there. I actually, you know, was a big He-Man, Masters of the Universe collector, and so to say that I was grown out of it's maybe not accurate. Just my interests were elsewhere. It's probably more appropriate, at least until, you know, as I got older and decided to collect you know, some of the toys from my childhood, and then my G.I. Joe collection got considerably bigger. Not huge by any means, but you know, I have quite a few.
Don't get me mad!
So here we are at another boss fight. I didn't catch who the boss was exactly, wasn't paying close enough attention. I'm sure somebody saw who it is here, but a few more coins and continues and get through this level. The only thing I don't really like about playing with the arcade stick and the way my audio setup is, you get a lot of the button clicking and stuff that I could live without. So yeah, every time it goes to that screen with the continue that sort of thing on there. I was just stopping the recording long enough so that the clips weren't huge. I kind of bounce them back between a couple different computers that I use, and then sometimes I'll upload the file to where I can retrieve it on my phone and add in some of the different overlays and things that I use. So that's why it does that from time to time, in case anybody was curious. But that's what I'm doing there. When you see that pop up, and in a perfect world I'd edit those out, but the machines and things that I use are kind of like slow anyway, so doing those things just makes it forever long before I can actually get a video to a point where I feel like I could upload it.
I can't wait to see you. It's showtime. GIJoe!
GIJoe!
Very colorful game, almost like hard on the eyes a little bit to some extent. One of the reasons I think maybe for me that it was a little harder playing through it is I used an HDMI splitter coming off the back of the arcade stick so that one could route into my computer with an HDMI and then one to the actual television. And of course the computer's where I use the capture card and record the footage, and then and why I'm kind of looking up in the videos is the TV above is where actually I'm trying to play it. You kind of see my eyes move between the two, making sure that I actually hit record and that sort of thing. But visually it's pretty cool. Like I say, the graphics are probably not perfect until I get my new HDMI capture card, but for the money spent, it turned out pretty alright, I think.
GIJoe!
I do recognize the boss in this one. This boss fight is with the Baroness, as you can see.
GIJoe!
Mission 2.
GIJoe!
Crazy to think about that this is only mission 2 on there, but I'm not sure how long the different missions are. I think as I was reading some of the text there, it sounded like Duke made it sound like this was the final run through, so however many boss fights. Obviously, spoiler alert, I don't finish the entire game. I got to a point where I was a little bit tired of it, and like I said, it was for some reason a little bit hard on my eyes playing through this one. Colors or whatever it is, but I really just from here only played a few more minutes of the game from what I recall.
Yo, Joe!
Kind of funny to hear the Yo Joe when you choose Snake Eyes, because of course Snake Eyes, doesn't speak, but it would have been kind of weird for him to not, or there not to be any audio when you chose him. So I don't know, maybe it's not supposed to be Snake Eyes. I'm not sure really, but found that kind of funny. So probably the last little piece of narration here. A couple more minutes of gameplay, but anyway, so that's GI Joe for the arcade stick, or played on the arcade stick, but originally would have been found in Aladdin's Castle and places of that nature around. Maybe Nickelcade now still. I'm not sure if there's even any of those anymore, but all in all, it's an enjoyable game, cool characters, very brightly colored, etc. So hopefully you enjoyed watching, and thank you for doing so.
Your days are numbered! Yo, Joe!